This is Thursday. This is Point of View with Shirley, Cleester, Merethah, and Eula. And of course, you can see Eula's not with us today. She had an obligation as the world turns. There are so many things going on, and so she's going to a memorial service today. So she won't be with us, but she said, God willing, she'll see us Tuesday. So hello, Reedy.
Hello, Shirley. Hello, Theta.
Hello.
Hello, Dad.
Hello, Shirley.
Oh, it's such a wonderful day. God is so good to us. Dear God, as we sit before you to speak, we pray to you that our souls you will keep. And if we should die before we finish, we pray to you, dear God, in the name of Jesus, that any outstanding sins will be forgiven.
A to
Amen.
the man.
So my topic today came to me, and I've really been studying this topic. Uh, how did things go? Oh, right. Yeah. So everything, people have good intentions, but then their good intentions just go sour
Yeah.
in the process. So, all right. So I didn't put Clee's topic on here, and I didn't put Bella's topic. So please tell me your topics, ladies.
My topic is, how can you know whom to trust?
Okay. How can you know who to trust? That's a one. Did you say whom or who?
Whom?
Okay. Because I want to make sure I put it on there right.
With an M.
Uh-huh. Right. Okay. Read it.
Mine is 70 missing children found.
Okay.
Wow.
Thank God they're found.
Yes.
They're alive.
That's amen. And we don't talk enough about this. You read about it, but we don't talk about it.
Yep.
We don't talk about how this got lured, however you
Lord.
say it, off by some man on Facebook saying he's 10 too. And he's at 45, waiting to find little Susie at the mall, and there she go, sex trafficked out.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. That what's yours?
Mine is, how can you know whom to trust?
Oh, you already said it.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, she did.
It's okay, Zena.
Okay, ready? Those are wonderful.
She said it. I
Thank you.
wasn't gonna be the one to just bust your bubble, but
Yeah.
she did say it.
Thank you for being with us, everybody. Thank you so much for encouraging us and supporting us. It's just a wonderful thing. And I ask each of you, if you will, please share so that other people have the privilege and the opportunity to partake of these wonderful, wonderful topics that we talk about. So we thank you so much. So at this time, I'm turning you into the hands of my precious, dear, favorite sister, Marie. Clea.
Look, see, she got her stuff. See, too many favorites.
Don't let me get strangled. Both of them, you know where I'm headed because
next thing she say, well, here's my favorite sister, Merethah.
My favorite sister, Cleester.
She's a side swiper. She's a side switcher, y'all. She's a side switcher. She'll switch sides on you in a minute. Mine came from the news. There's children missing all over the world. Children missing all over the world. And finally, somebody had got the nerve and all the gall and gumption up to go and look for these children. And they found 70 of them. Mm-hmm. Some of the 70 missing children found in West Texas were trafficked in DFW. Here's what investigators want you to know. One agent said while very few of the victims recovered in his region were trafficked, the public stigma means to be classified as a runaway is damaging. So they need to change the runaway laws. Just because you over 12, you're considered, or if you're missing, they say you run away. If you're missing, you're over 12, they say you run away. Okay, let me see one thing.
That's crazy.
Dallas. Yes,
That's
it's
crazy.
been about a week
doesn't
since
have
Homeland.
I'm
Yes, it
sorry.
is. Yes. Yes. It's been about a week since Security Investigations (HSI) announced that 70 children missing from counties in West Texas were found after a 3-week operation called Operation Lost Soul. Probably the longest process that I've had with as an investigator. Supervisory Special Agent Stephanie Hard said, "You are literally going to every person they could have had contact, and please, do you know anything about where they've been or who they've been with?" HSI confirmed that a majority of the children ranged from age 10 to 17 were found in West Texas. Some were found in DFW, Colorado, and a city in Mexico near the Texas border. They were just all over, Hart said, scattered all over. Resident agent in charge, Adam Koneman, 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 whatever, said, worked with Hard within HSI's San Angelo office in West Texas. They confirmed that with WFAA, isn't that a TV station in Dallas?
It's Channel 8.
Channel 8.
Okay, WFAA, there's 7 other children. Well, I don't know because I'm in Louisiana, so I do remember WFAA though. I do remember that.
Right.
7
Because we
other
used to get
children
it in
recovered.
Denison.
7 were recovered, were missing from their designated region. Dallas police confirmed that none of the missing or runaway children cases they covered that their department is working on were ever recovered in Operation Lost Souls. But Hart and Coleman said some of the kids from their area were in North Texas. We did have victims that were taken up there, trafficked up there, Hart said. Dallas Fort Worth is a major hub of human trafficking. Coleman said it's common for victims from smaller communities to be taken to large cities. It's just much easier to blend in and disappear in the cities like Dallas and Fort Worth. HSI release stated that the majority of the children recovered had been classified as runaways. Last month, 2 15-year-old girls went missing in North Texas in separate incidents. Both were later found and believed to have been trafficked. Both were also classified as runaways by local police. But see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The children, yes, they were over 12. So they just said they just run away.
Run away.
But they had been trafficked. Yes, had been trafficked.
That's the easy thing to do.
That's the easiest way out of it. Yes, it is. That's the easy way. Both were also classified as runaway by local police departments. Dallas police told WFAA during one of the investigations, the state code requires that the department consider a juvenile who was taken by force as a runaway. Let me say this again. Investigates the state code that the department consider a juvenile who wasn't taken by force to be a runaway. The teen in the case was found by police in Oklahoma after sex ads featuring her photos were found online.
Wow.
Coleman said, while very few of the victims recovered in his region were trafficked, the public stigma of what it means to be classified as a runaway is damaging. That term, runaway, is almost gives fault to the child's rights.
That's right.
Coleman said, like it's their fault they're running away. What we have found in our line of work is those children are running away from something. Yeah, right. Coleman and Hard said each case is different, but there are patterns. They said this issue does not discriminate. The trauma and vulnerabilities that would cause a child to run away can exist from kids, all races, family dynamics, and socioeconomics. The method is usually the same. What I always tell parents is that phone that you pay for, be involved in your child's life. Look at that phone. See what who they're talking to, because that is the number one way someone is going to get contact with your child. He said, even if your child does not have a phone, predators and masters at using predators or masters at using the internet to prey on children on their gaming and electronic devices. He said the problem in children is slow, and parents cannot afford not to pay attention to who their child or community, their children are communicating with online. Coleman said the investigations like Operation Lone Star also made it possible through cooperation of local, federal, and state agencies, as well as community and nonprofit partnerships. He said anyone who's something suspicious should report and call 911 for an active emergency. He said, if you believe that someone is being trafficked or exploited and you're not sure whether to call the police, you can call. He said, whether you're not sure or not, you can still call. If you're not sure or not, you can still call. There we go. Thank you. You can still call. You ain't gonna look bad. No, child, they just know you watching out for the children. It's public job to figure it out. It's the job of an investigator. All you have to do is say something to us, Coleman said. The number for HSI tip line is 1-866. I'm always giving out somebody's number. 1-866-347-2423. Coleman said it goes out to federal investigators across the country and internationally whose sole focus is to work these cases. So there we go. We found 7. They found 70 children. Lord, I thank you. They found 70 children. And they go on to say that some of those children's heads are so messed up that they have to talk to them slowly, carefully, at a little bit at a time because they are so damaged. Because they are so damaged physically and mentally.
Emotionally. And emotionally too, I'm quite sure.
Yes. So all we can do, Lord, all we can do now, you've done the part, Lord, you brought them home. We can do that, pray for them.
Yeah.
Right. That touches home. When you touch with a child, you touch with all us. When you mess with a child, you mess with us.
Right. And do they have the people? Do they have the people? Do they have the people who?
Do they have the people? In one article said they did, and they were trying to. One article said they did, and they were trying to. They have some of them, and they were trying to figure out how to go about it without involving the children, because the children have been through enough. Enough. See, some of them were just used for plain out slavery.
Yeah, so I believe that too.
Yes, I do too. So I'm going to keep an eye on that now. Keep us all informed on that, because that's our those are our people too.
Yeah.
Children,
okay, so they have a mixed group of children, not just one specific group.
Not one specific group. No, they had a mixed group of children, a lot of children.
Okay,
children,
all of different ethnic backgrounds.
Yes, races. Ma'am. Yes. So always. That's how they children. They go on there and they play those games, and they try to. As they're playing the game, they're drawing a little bit more information out of them. Mm-hmm. What your dad do? What your mom do? When they go to work, what do you do? We meet at the mall. Have your mom drive your bike to the mall, and then that's the last time you see your child, because you don't know who they talking to.
Nope.
You don't know who they talking to, because you don't go take. Some of us don't take the time to go in there and check out who you talking to, Janie. Who is his mama? Who is his daddy? Where you meet him at?
But you know that some of these children are clever too. They teach them how to hide this little stuff in the chat, in different apps and things like that.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yes.
Well, what you do, you download this, and we can talk over here, and they can't find it. They teach them that stuff too.
Chats. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So you have to watch that stuff. Go in there, have your little stuff where you can. They have stuff where you can monitor your stuff from your phone.
Yes, they do.
See, and part of there's a problem also, because a lot of these you hear parents say, "Well, that's theirs, and I don't want to be invading their privacy."
Invading their privacy.
They have a right to privacy and all of that. I beg to differ. When they get in their own place, they're doing their own thing, they're earning their own money.
There you go.
They're making their own way. Then they can have their privacy.
They can have their privacy.
That's where a lot comes in. I am not saying that any of those parents of those children neglected to do what they needed to do. I'm just saying we have heard people say that they don't want to invade their privacy. They believe they should have privacy and everything. Baby.
We didn't have nothing.
Have access to that phone anytime you want access
we didn't get
to
the
it.
nap either, did we?
Check those phones, check those computers, check. Elder David said that like when they were in the service, and they would always have two people in a vehicle, at least two people. And so one would be driving and the other one would be monitoring, you know. And so and they said whenever they were driving, they would say check and recheck. That's what you have to do.
That's
check
what you have to
and
do.
recheck. And we are parents, and at least Rita and I have raised children, and we know, and we ourselves know, because we were children also. And so we know many of the ropes, but we didn't have all of this technology available to us when we were coming up. So it's a different game now, but I'm telling you, the parents can keep up with that game if they want to.
If they want to.
Because every day the media is telling parents how to monitor their children, that this app is out. This is a new app. This is a new app. Check this app out. They have, and I know they said there's one word, like you were saying, Merethah. You were saying that they have these different apps, and some of these apps they have where, like, if you have a conversation, then they delete themselves, right? And different things like that. And I remember one time this man, and I think I asked you, what is a WhatsApp? Because this man was trying to talk to me online, and then I told him no, thank you. It's still public, I think, on there, where I told him no, this avenue right here is good enough to talk on. He's trying to get me to go to WhatsApp.
WhatsApp. People always trying to get me to go to WhatsApp. I don't know what WhatsApp
I'm not going nowhere.
Say what is WhatsApp?
Anyway. You know, I was looking at a movie the other day, and this man was in this class, and they asked him why was he taking a computer course. He said because his children ain't gonna go nowhere he don't know he going.
I know that's right.
He said his children ain't going nowhere he can't go. So whatever they know on the computer, he gonna know it too. So that means he watching out. He's his job. And they're not going nowhere he can't go.
Rita, you know where my car is right now, don't you?
Yes, ma'am.
So you know where I am.
Yes,
somebody needs to know. I know I have a special person in my life, and she used to, try to keep things, and still tries to keep things sometimes, and I understand, but still, let somebody know where you are at all times.
At all times. Yep.
Because I was growing, and when I would go on a vacation or something and come down even to Dallas, and nobody else knew where I was going and where I would be and where I was at that time, Mama knew it.
That's it. Yep.
And if Mama knew it, Daddy knew it.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes.
And then when I was traveling, I had a CB, but we didn't have cell phones way back then. But when I would get on that road, every 2 hours, I would stop, go and call and check in, so they would know which way I went, just in case they needed to trade me. And I know there's this thing on Facebook, they say you've grown or whatever, doesn't matter how grown you get or independent you get, someone always needs to know where you are. And I'm not saying these children, because it's not all their faults, because these people grab people. They grab grown folks.
Walking down the street,
they grab grown
vans, running beside you, snatch and pull you in there.
Yes.
So it remind me of when I first got married the first time. When I went stay,
that's okay.
I was down to Philip's mom with Philip and his mom and a storm came through and the telephone lines. The lines were down for over a week. And I just kept saying, I know Mama weird. I know Mama weird. So when the phone finally got first call was to Mama. And I said, Mama, and she said, oh Lord, she said that. She said, Eula, here she is. Mama said he out there packing up the car.
See?
He was out there packing up the car.
Getting ready to go to
They was finna get on that road.
That's right.
They were finna get on that road. And she said, Daddy, here she is. And I said, what, Mama? She said, she said, he out there packing up the car. They hadn't heard from you. I said, Mama, the phones went down when the storm came, and the phones went down. Nobody have to. No, ma'am, Mama, nobody didn't have no.
Because you know.
And now y'all know how it is, too, when I'm down here and I can't get a hold of y'all during a hurricane or something like that. Because I remember that's how Michael had that heart attack one time trying to get down here to me and Natalie during Hurricane Katrina.
Okay.
Yes.
That's the first time.
Yep. It happened, but still, because him and Bubba was gonna come.
And then
my phone.
A crisis also came up in the family. We won't say names or anything like that. But you told me about this, and I don't know why I didn't know. But you know, I had so much going on in my life way back then. And everything, but we had a crisis in the family, right, Reedy? And so those Pope men were gathering up and packing up and getting ready to get on the highway.
Yes, they was getting ready to get on the road, baby.
I mean, Popes from Fort Worth, Denison, wherever they were, they were getting ready to get on that highway and go to that point. And then they got the word. It's okay. It might not have been okay, but the word was, you don't have to come now.
You don't have to come.
People don't get it. People don't get it. And just like these, I'm so thankful, Reeves. Thank you so much for presenting that to us. Because like you said, you don't hear it enough. You don't hear good news enough. Even though the children are traumatized and everything, they are alive.
They are alive.
They can get treatment. And you said they know where 24 more
they
are.
They know where 24 more are. Yes.
Thank the Lord.
So they're getting ready to go and get.
Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. That's such a wonderful presentation, Rita. I enjoyed it so much. And you got that from James Hawley?
No, I got it.
Oh, I know you mentioned Jane Pauley.
I said I was Jane Pauley.
Oh no,
I got it from WAA News.
Okay, you are you, and that lady is no comparison to you, baby.
Thank you.
That's why people say. Okay, Channel 8. That's my favorite. You know, we grew up on Channel 8.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Viola Johnson.
Yes, we did. Yes, ma'am.
And I try my best to look at other stations. I'll force myself to look at other stations, just try to prove to myself that I can look at another station.
It ain't the same.
But I always end up back on Channel 8.
Yeah, it ain't the same.
Okay, Merethah, you want me to go?
Yeah, you can if you want to.
Are you ready?
I am.
Everybody, my favorite sister, Merethah.
All right.
Thank you so much for being with us. I saw Eleanor. I saw Leora, Laterica,
Jennifer.
Okay, thank you so much. We love you all so much.
All right.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I just want to remind them that I'm trying to get us hooked up with Zoom so that if they want to be on camera with us and then they, then I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Mine is how can you know whom to trust? And this is from Forbes.com, ForbesMagazine.com. All right. It says the author contributor was Charles Green. And it says, excuse me, the news is drenched with stories of declining trust. Trust is our institutions, trust companies, trust in our leaders are all down. We need not surrender to the mass cynicisms, but it's worth exploring. Just how do you know whom to trust? A trick question? Yes, it is. Whom can you trust? Sounds simple and straightforward enough, but it's a trick question for two reasons. First of all, You can't know the answer with certainty. And secondly, the question is as much about the trustor as it is about the trustee. All right? No guarantees. Ronald Reagan's famous dictum, trust but verify, was misleading. If you have to verify, you're not trusting. There simply is no trust without risk. To trust, by definition, is to put oneself in harm's way of the actions of another in the belief that the other will not choose harm. That's what trust is. Hockey great Wayne Gretzky put it well. The only way to never miss a shot is to never take one. The only way to never trust a wrong person is to never trust anyone. It takes two to trust. Asking, whom can I trust? Make it sound like trust is all about the other person, but it also has to do with us. For one thing, it depends on what is at stake. I might trust Amazon to guess my preference in books, but not to line up my potential date. You might trust someone to recommend stock, but not to share it with the family health insurance information. You can't answer whom can I trust without answering to do what. So, and finally, your own risk profile. You probably have a friend who takes more social risk than you do, or another friend who less risky than you are when it comes to investments. Whom can you trust? Whomever you're talking about, your friends may answer differently. The only answer that you can count on is your own. Trustworthiness, 4 virtues. Of course, there is such a thing as trustworthiness of the other party, and it has a lot to do with whether you can trust them. Trustworthiness of organizations is one thing. Trustworthiness in people is another. In people, we might think the trustworthiness as a collection of 4 virtues. 1, credibility. Do you think the person speaks truthfully? More importantly than not lying, do they speak the whole truth or are they transparent? Are there certain credentials readily present or do you understand them? Can they answer your questions in ways you can understand? While all that may sound objective, there's an important subject component of credibility as well. Do you believe the person? If your gut instinct, here it is. If your gut instinct is to doubt, you are not completely at risk, adverse person, then listen to your gut. If it's saying then stay away from them. Number 2, reliability. Can you depend on this person to do what they say they'll do? Do they have a track record with you? If not with you, can they demonstrate a track record with others as in a reference? And number 3, intimacy. Does a person listen to you in a way that makes you feel heard? Do they feel do you feel they're being open with you? Do you feel the interaction is two-way? It's okay to answer this with an emotional response. Part of trust is an emotional, and this is that part. Number 4, other orientation. Is the person focused on themselves or on you? Whose interests do they seem to have at heart? Is the conversation largely one-sided? Do you feel your questions are being heard and answered or being deftly handled and disposed of? This question is partly about process, ergo sales methods, but also partly emotional. Again, that's a valid part of deciding whom to trust. You may object that the talented con artist can fake each of those traits, and you'd be right. There are cases of fake credentials, credibility, faux friendliness, intimacy, and false references, reliability. This shouldn't be surprising. It just proves that there are right elements of trust to be focused on. Reciprocity, the magic ingredient of trust. Despite all the preceding comments, this is one unique factor affecting trustworthiness. Paradoxically, it's your own willingness to trust. It may seem odd, but another person's trustworthiness can be affected by your own propensity to trust. It's been said the fastest way to make a man trustworthy is to trust him. Conversely, if you approach someone with great suspicion, micromanage them, and expect the worst of them, your expectation will probably be met. As another saying puts it, whether you expect good or ill from someone, you won't be disappointed. Despite what you read in the headlines, most human beings in most situations are wired to respond positively to people who place trust in them. You may not be able to change physical reality through your thoughts, but you can have an impact on others' behavior by the way you choose to approach them. Whom can you trust? In several ways. The answer involves you as well as the other person. So you put trust out there, you get trust back most times. Always goes back to discernment. It does. God doesn't leave you in the dark. He's not going to ever leave you in the dark. You have to still watch. Whom can you trust?
As well as pray.
Get
Amen.
what you give. Most, like you said, most times you still have to watch your back. Just like she was talking about these babies. They thought they could trust the person that they were speaking with or the situations that they were in most times, but they couldn't. So we still have to be careful in whom you can trust, whether it be a friend, a family member, a stranger. Not everybody out there is bad. Not everybody is bad, but not everybody is good either. So you still have to watch yourself. Be aware of your surroundings. Be careful what you say. What Mary Rita say, Shirley? Don't tell all
Don't
you
tell all you
know.
know, but
Know what to tell. Don't trust everybody, but know whom you can trust. And there are people out there that you can trust. You should be able to count on one hand your true and close friend. They say if you can do that in a lifetime, you really have something. If you can count these right here, you really have something. Because there are some good people out there, but there are some bad people out there also. So we have to watch ourselves. Guard your heart, but also open your heart. You know, you know what to do. You know what to do. Just be careful with you, because I love me some me, and I love me some them. Them two, them right there. I love me some them. So just be careful and trust because God will put it on you who you can trust. He ain't gonna leave you in the dark. He's not gonna leave you in the dark. So that's all I have.
Oh,
Thank you.
wonderful.
Lyra Bryan said, Mama used to say, don't let your right hand know what the left
The
hand is
left
doing.
hand is doing.
I
know that's right. I know that's
That's
right.
right.
Yeah.
And then
Barry Marvin said, preach, sister.
and this is so true, like you said. And then when you're trusting, your trust goes so far because you never totally surrender yourself to anyone, because that's why so many people are devastated today.
Yep.
But I totally understand what you're saying. That is super great information.
And I said, we put people, we as a human race, we put people up on a pedestal so high. We put them up.
That was my somebody's phone, I guess.
It was mine. It's letting me know how beautiful I am. He said, wee but he said, wee but we put people up so high on a pedestal that when they do something wrong and they fall, we're ready to, but it's us that put them up there. We do that. So that when they make a mistake, it's devastating to us. But they're just human. We're all human.
Yep.
So we have to watch that because someone could look at us in their eyes that way. They could put us up there so that when we make a mistake, then we're going down. But I don't ever want anybody to put me up that high. I don't put me up that high because I'm only human.
Just
Flesh and
respect
blood.
you for the person you are.
Person that I am.
And
I'm
they can
fallible.
admire you too.
Yep. Admire me. I'm okay with that.
Don't lose sight of the fact that we're all
human.
We're only human.
A flesh and blood, a woman.
Yes, wonderful. Wonderful.
Thank
wonderful.
you.
And I was thinking about us so much. I just think about us all the time, how we've always supported each other. And I was thinking about everybody, every time I get an idea, rodeo, children's parade, children's ball, concerts, whatever, y'all are always, no matter what, y'all just come right on and get in there and start working and helping your sister out. And we work together just like we're doing now. I am so thankful. God has blessed us as a family to do so much and be examples to other people. And not trying to be an example, but he puts people where they need to be at the time that they need to be so that people can see who they are. Yeah. And I thank God for that. So trusting that was wonderful. Rita, that was wonderful. So I'm going to just get right on with mine.
Go right ahead.
Right on.
I'm going to
get
right on. Okay. Now let me see what my topic is.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, when things, when you meant everything to be solely good.
Yes.
And then, so how did things just go the opposite? How did things get out of hand? And I know all of us have experienced that. And people with good intentions, they start out with good intentions. Yeah. And then when they get caught up, like you said, that you don't want anybody to put you on a pedestal. Not, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's what happens. But human nature is like that. People don't intend to enable people as to be, abusive and all that. But people admire people and they just try to give them the due that's for them. Yeah. And then the people, their heads swell, as we say, and they get all caught up in it. And this is what happens. So they meant it for good. They started out good. You've heard people say when they started businesses and they've gotten caught up and they've been indicted because they misused the business, misused the money. People like these Ponzi scheme people. Who's to say they didn't start out with good intentions to help other people make money? But then it got to where the money kept piling in and then other people were swelling their heads and saying things to them, and then they got in there and then they got so deep. And then another thing is that when people get like with money and things like that, the money starts coming in. You can see banks have misused people's money. Just about every organization, every business has faulted and misused people's money like they're still doing today. Amen. And then they say, like you've heard people say when they get in trouble, I just borrowed a little bit and I was going to put it back. And then they say, well, I need this much. So I'll just borrow this and then I'll put it all back on a certain day until it gets into millions and millions of dollars, if those dollars are available. So how do things get out of hand? They meant it solely for good. I believe it. And I thought about David Koresh. I thought about Jim Jones and them. They probably started out meaning good for the people.
Very good. Yes.
We're going to put you here. You won't have to be exposed to all that's going on out there in the world. You're going to be protected and everything. And then it got to their heads. The more power, the more the people surrendered to them and did what they said. Then that, just kept going on and on and on till they realized before they knew it that they had these people in their clutches. And
Yep.
It is.
whatever
Yep.
I say, they'll do it. And
Yep.
people have gotten off track. You remember I told you I was watching this about American Gangsters Trap Queens, about these ladies. And you can hear their stories about how they started out. Well, I needed some money for this. And I was just going to do this and make this money so I could pay my rent, so I could pay my bills. And then the money kept piling in and piling in and piling in. And they kept saying to a point,
oh yeah,
I'm just going to make enough to do this. And then I'm getting out of the game.
Yep.
yeah,
And next thing you know, they're busted and in the pen, or they are dead.
yeah.
So there's so much people don't, and I don't think everybody, and I would say I don't believe 5% of the people start out to turn it into what it does turn into, which gets them in a whole lot of trouble. So things can easily get out of hand.
Yeah,
And okay,
yes,
so this article is about a proverb or aphorism, or and there's a song also. And you've heard this saying: the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yep.
The road to hell is paved with good intentions. And there's an alternative form that says that hell is full of good meanings, but heaven is full of good works. So another interpretation to consider would be one is naive and acts in good faith with no altruistic objective. It merely seems as the proper or even sensible thing to do. In this scenario, the act, regardless of its virtue, leads the actor to unintended negative consequences. So here's the thing too, and we've all probably experienced something like this. And so that's why that I'm on my guard. I'm not too, I trust people to a point. But through my experiences and everything, and you know how people will try to take your ideas.
Yep.
And then if you ask them, for advice, ask them to help you, some people will try to take over and run it.
And
so
run
through
it.
experience, we have to be very careful. So here's an example here. And this was all meant to be good. I told my boss I replaced the toner in the copy machine, only to be lectured that even though the quality wasn't good, he had intended on its use for another month. So have you ever done something, told somebody, I did this for you, I know I saw this needed to be done, and then they turn around and say, oh, I wasn't intending to do that. I wanted that to stay there for, if you see, yes. So and here's a meaning. A common meaning of the phrase is that wrongdoings or evil actions are often undertaken with good intentions, or that good intentions, when acted upon, may have unintended consequences. We've all seen it. We've seen people, they want to start out, they want to, like I said, want to do this. They start out and then they have like even a board of trustees. And then somebody on the board of trustees wants to get in the head's ear. Well, you know what? That's a good idea. But I tell you how you can bring in more funds. If you do this and that and the other, and then the next thing you know, they're in trouble for fraud and all of that. I was watching this show on this women, these queen pins, and that's what they call it, trap queens. There was a lady that started a church, and all she was going to do wonders. She was going to help ladies in ministry. She had this ministry and everything. She is in the pen now. Those people started going there. She started, I think, with like 6 or 7 people. Then she went to 50 people. Then she went to 100 people. Then she went to hundreds of people. And so she started like, oh, you need to pay your tithing. You need to pay your offering. They did that. Then they needed to started charging them parking fees. Started charging them for benevolence. We do benevolence, some of them, take up money for flowers and things like that, things like that. But everything, as time went on, went into her pocket. And she had these people even living. She got so where she would buy a property or rent property and then put the people in the property to stay there, no food, hardly anything for themselves, and she's living like a queen. And one lady said that she was working 5 jobs, and every dime of that money went to that lady. And then she started abusing them, slapping them, and all of that. You got to bring in more money. You got to do this. You got to do that. One lady in the wintertime, she got mad at her. Now, these are people who they're supporting her. They got under her grasp, and they're hooked. They're brainwashed. Right. And so they're in her grasp. And one woman, she got mad at her and put her out the back door into the snow, threw a pillow and a blanket or something out there with it, and made her stay out there all day.
Wow.
That kind of stuff. And she's still saying that it wasn't her fault, that she was doing what was best for the people. But she is
that's why her tail in prison.
Right, because so good intentions, you can start out with good intentions, and then it can get out of hand. Before you know it, it can get out of hand. That's why I'm so particular. I'm trying to be so careful. So careful. Even on my webcast, if people want to send donations to Greater Gospel Temple, and then, of course, you have to have fundraisers if you're going to build the church back and all that, and to do different things. But you very seldom hear me say anything about money.
Amen.
Very seldom. The people are free to donate if they want to, but I don't, because I've been in situations where it's been money. And then they said we're gonna have a service, and we want everybody to make a sacrifice. I know it was they were talking about money. And I would be so disappointed until I learned the game.
Yep.
We want you to make a sacrifice. We want you to give to the Lord and all that. And I can understand when they say give, but just say, we're going to take an offering. Because I never will forget when we were having a Christmas program in one of the churches. And so they said, bring a gift for the king. And I took some perfume, because they said gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Yeah. And I took some perfume because I thought that's what they were talking about. They said a gift. I didn't know they meant bring some money. So anyway, God has blessed me out of so many. So I just left it there. It was Estee Lauder too, honey. So, hey, I had taken the gift, so I just left it there, but I didn't know. I finally learned how, how people
do like this. Helping out the church.
Well, it better smell good.
So I don't know who got it. I don't know what, but I left it there because they said, bring a gift.
My sister.
And I took a gift.
I'd have did the same thing.
And then another occasion, we were told, well, we're going to do this, and we're going to have a special service. And the way it was worded, I didn't think the person was talking about money. So when they did say money, I was so disappointed. I was so disappointed and hurt.
Oh my God.
Because people get people in and say, Lord's gonna bless you, the Lord's gonna bless you. So just come. And then you get there, and then they're asking for a certain amount of money. Now, I'm not fighting against offerings. I'm not fighting against tithing. I'm not fighting against the free will offerings, justification, and all of that. I'm talking about people who take advantage of people. And when they get their minds, they can do whatever they want to with them. So a common phrase is that wrongdoings or evil actions are often undertaken with good intentions. People start off good. I really believe that. I will give people the benefit of a doubt, because sometimes we have wanted to do some things, and then if we don't keep control of them, different things would creep in, different people would creep in. I remember when we were doing one of the rodeos in Denison. And so one of my, I could say friends at that time, suggested that I let another lady help me with something because she was supposed to have had experience in it. But when I did talk with her and start, letting him, she's tried to take over. So I just cut her off. I mean, bluntly, abruptly, I cut her off. I didn't ask you to come in and take over. It was suggested that you help. So we have to really be careful of who gets in our ear. Okay, so different interpretations, he's saying individuals may have an intention to undertake good actions and nevertheless fail to take action. Have you ever tried I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this. I'm going to make this. And it never gets done like you thought it would be done.
2 years later.
Oh, she's talking about her red pantsuit. And I had good intentions, reading. I cut it out. I pinned it.
Later.
I pinned it. All I had to do was sew it together. And I still
years later,
haven't sewn that. It was already. It was traced and everything. All I had to do was put it on the sewing machine. I had good intentions, but I didn't get to finish the task. Read it and see my sister. She's so patient and kind with me. She didn't get
still
mad.
waiting on that red pantsuit though.
2 years later.
So in psychology, today we have Alex Patakos, who's a PhD. The meaning of life. He has good intentions aren't enough, and don't work against yourself. Have you ever worked so hard at something? And this is what I really like, because a lot of things that he said in here, I can attest to and relate with. Okay, the harder the task became and the further away your goals seemed to get. In other words, one step forward, 2 steps backwards. Ironically enough, in the same way that fear brings to pass what one is afraid of, likewise, a forced intention makes impossible what one forcibly wishes. So to illustrate good intentions, he says, there are not enough. He said, let's consider our work. Our jobs are always more than our jobs. They represent relationships to ourselves and to others. And we know when we have a job, we form relationships with those people on those jobs.
Yeah,
and I think it's totally impossible for anybody to work in an environment with other people and not form some type of a relationship. Whether you communicate with one or the other, or don't communicate with one as much as you do the other, but you do have some type of relationship with that person.
Yeah.
So they represent relationships to ourselves and to others, to our customers and our consumers, to the products we are designing, creating, and selling, to the services we offer, to the environment, and to the way in which what we do has an impact on the world. So these relationships weave together through our work. They have meaning individually and collectively. When we focus too intently on the outcome, and this is what I really like, when we focus, and we know this is to be a fact, too intently on the outcome, these relationships suffer. In other words, the harder we work for success, the more elusive it becomes. Meaning is found in awareness of the moment, that when we get too far from the moment we start to lose our effectiveness. So what this person is saying, we're so focused on getting it done and looking toward the end that we're not focused on the present, because we're focused on the future, but we're in the present. So our mind is way over yonder and is not concentrating on where we are right now.
Yep.
And so that's how things get away from us. So even when the stakes are high and our success is essential, focusing on the results rather than the process can actually get in the way of a successful outcome. So we all know how it works. Our nervousness and anxiety about getting it right keep us from getting it right. The higher our expectations about something, the more disconnected we are from the actual accomplishment of it, and the less able we are to participate in its successful unfolding. And that is so true. And they were talking about how we wait on things, how we anticipate something. We say, like even like weddings and parties and banquets and things, and we'll be planning sometimes 5 and 6 months out, and we'd be so excited. But when the time gets there, if we stay focused on the now, what we're doing step by step, we can make it successful. But then when it's over, it's done.
It's done.
All of that excitement that we put into it, now it's over. Now we're looking for something else. What next? So they mentioned that in here. So our good intentions actually become the cause of our failure. When a specific success is so fervently sought that we overlook and neglect the relationships that are an integral part of the process, we lay the seeds for something to go wrong. We lay the seeds for something to go wrong. We fly in the face of our own success. We neglect our own meaning, the meaning of others, and the meaning of the process. And so I want to get down here. When we overlook the opportunity to have respectful and meaningful moments with others, be it at work or in our personal lives, we undermine our chances of long-term success. And when we do take the time to nurture our relationships, the definition of success expands exponentially. So our day-to-day, minute-to-minute lives become a success in and of themselves. Our specific goal-oriented successes become more accessible. So few of us, of course, get through our lives unscathed. And I don't think anybody gets through life unscathed. We get divorced. We lose our jobs. Sometimes after many years of dedicated service, our health fails us in some way. Our children fail us. We fail one another. Life can be as full of failures as it is of successes. Yet in our failures, we can find tremendous meaning. And only in meaning do our failures have a useful legacy. So instead of throwing in the towel, I failed, I'm done, I'm not going to try anything anymore. We learn from our failures.
That's it.
And things are going to happen in life. I was watching this series, The Porter. Have you heard of that? The Porter. And this lady said, and I can relate, and sometimes you're afraid to express yourself. We believe in God. We know that he's a true and living God. We know that he'll answer our prayers, but seems like sometimes they never, on certain things, it seems that they never get answered. It seems like he's not hearing us. And it seems like the more we pray, the more we cry, the more we talk to God, it seems like we're not getting what we are asking for. And it's an over and over and over and over and over process. Over and over. And some people just give up hope. But anyway, use those things. If we say, well, I didn't get that, but look at what he has done for me. Look at what I do have. You have to look at what you have instead of what you don't have. Because that you have could be something that you don't have, and you could be in worse shape than what you are. So, if you are in bad shape. So meaning rests on appreciation at the moment and gratitude and awareness and relationships. Now, so what we don't need to do, and I have a lot more, but I'm finishing up because it's 1:59. We don't need to focus so much on the outcome till we don't even pay attention to the present time. We're so eager to be successful till we don't focus on what's happening now, the whole process of it. We're looking at the end and we're neglecting something that's happening in the beginning that's going to mess us up before we get to the end.
Yep.
So we have good intentions, but what happened to make it get out of hand. There's so many things. So anyway, I hope that what made sense and everything. But it's 2:00, sisters. So you have any final words for today?
I've enjoyed everything today. It's been again a wonderful, wonderful show. I was glad to see my classmate in there with with us, Barry, and everyone else that was in there with us. We'll say Leora, Deborah D. Horney. I lost Yvonne. Uh, I've lost some people.
Jennifer and Laterica.
Jennifer and Laterica, yep. I've lost some people since I switched over my thing, but just everything was wonderful as usual. And I enjoy this so much. I'm going to be training next week, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to, be in, but as soon as I'm able, I'll be right back.
Right on back in. Happy for your new job starting a new
I'm
chapter.
glad.
Yes.
And I want to say this.
I started me a new chapter. Hello.
You sure? So you still hanging in there too, huh, Rita?
I'm still hanging in there. Yes, I am.
All right.
It's surprisingly, I like it.
All right.
I like it.
Wonderful.
He came on for break one day. He come in. He said, "Mama," he followed me outside. When I go, "Mama, you really like that job, don't you?" I said, "I do. I really do. It ain't nothing. I'm retired, so it's just something to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've done everything else but that. Never done that before.
That's all right. I'm happy for you.
I like it. I like
You're
it.
happy. I'm happy.
I like it this week and like it last week. And
Okay.
I don't know what's going to happen now. But I just want to say to everybody, happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of
Because
July.
we will not be seeing you before then. Shirley will, but we won't. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Please be safe on the holidays, please.
Yes.
Please be safe. And God loves you. I love you, and I thank everybody. Love my sisters, and that's what I had to say.
All right. Wonderful. Wonderful. And thank you, sisters. I love you so much, everybody. God willing, I'll see you. When will I see you? Saturday evening at 7:39 for Sunday school and Sunday at 7 a.m. And then coming up, I have a great interview coming up with one of my friends, one of those on this hand, okay? A friend, and I'm going to interview her, and she has, my God, a story to tell. So I love you, sisters, and
love you.
And enjoy your day, and we'll talk later, God willing.
Bye.
Okay.
Later.
Everybody have a safe holiday.
Okay.
Okay. Bye bye.